meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, it was a beautiful Christmas day, and we're looking at a wonderful sunset, but get ready because some of that warmer weather is on the way. Make sure you have the resolution ready, and make sure you take those decorations down because some of those windier conditions are on their way. Take a good look. That cloud cover kept us in those 50s last night. As it made its way out of the area, we jumped up about 10 degrees into those lower 60s, and we're cooling off pretty quickly underneath those clear skies. Only a couple more degrees to go if we're not already there. Definitely those more humid conditions making it feel more colder than it is outside. 45 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of lower 50s, upper 40s, mid 40s across the entire region, getting a better idea of the topography around the area as that cold air slides in somewhere around Ozona, and we're still just inside that 10-degree mark. Take a good look. We're 45 there in Ozona, 54 down there in Junction. That's 10 degrees from west to east. Not in the direction that we want, but it's definitely out there while we still watch that cold air sink in from the north. Now, those stronger storms are making their way across Nebraska, across the Rocky Mountains, and we're getting a better idea of the humidity values when we look at those post-frontal conditions. Get a good look. Saturation points are near that atmospheric tipping point, but we don't see any clouds, so we definitely look at some of that light fog as that cold front makes its way through, while off towards the west and some of those deeper elevations we start to see some lower humidity values with those lower dew points. We're on the lookout for a misty morning tomorrow morning, but then we're going to dry up pretty quickly. Here's the water vapor, the moisture tracker, going to show you how we're keeping our eye on these concentrations of blues that will fight their way out of the area. That's where we're going to warm up into those 80s by the weekend, but some colder air definitely on the way by New Year's. Now, you only have about 5 days to go, and when we talk about the upper level pattern, about a couple weeks ago we saw some of those temperatures push below the freezing mark, then sort of things evened out. This is the setup again. Here's our cold circulation around the Hudson Bay. It's going to pull all these shortwave troughs into the area. That's going to concentrate a lot of this cold air as it makes its way in. Now, that high pressure is going to build off the eastern Pacific, and that's going to push all that cold air more towards the north around the Rocky Mountains, then drop it around the Concho Valley and head off towards the east, where they're looking at some more snow as this one makes its way over the Rocky Mountains. Now, here's the post-frontal conditions that we're looking at. That plume of moisture that Stephen was talking about yesterday has made its way towards the Dakotas, where they're looking at a little bit of snow. Once it moves over the Great Lakes, even more lake effect snow right behind it. A monster storm. This is the one that's going to warm us up all the way into the 80s before right behind it, it plunges us back down near those freezing points. When we look at the severe weather outlook, spotty across the entire nation, keeping our eye on sort of the panhandle region to get a good idea of what this weather is going to do. When we take you down to the surface, seeing a whole lot of snow left behind as some of those colder areas are making their way off towards the east. Take a good look at that circulation around Colorado. Off the west coast, they're going to see about 10 inches of snow as a result, on top of already somewhere around 20 feet. So we're going to get a good idea of what it turns into as it starts to run into some of this colder air. When we take you down to the Concho Valley, we really have our eye on some of that returning cloud cover and those windier conditions tomorrow. Take a good look. By Thursday morning, watching some of these bigger storms push off towards Dallas, and then it clears up for a beautiful Thursday. Low cloud cover makes its way in from the west by Friday. That's where we're going to warm up into those 80s, but we have our eye sort of on those winds tomorrow. Take a good look from the south, somewhere about 5 to 10 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Really pushes up to about 20 miles per hour, looking at some of those gustier conditions, and then things sort of calm back down for another cool evening. So let's get ready to tear down those decorations and get ready for New Year's. So tonight, we're pretty much already there, down into those 40s, on the lookout for some of that mist. Then tomorrow, back up into those upper 60s, if not those lower 70s. Going to be a beautiful day, but New Year's right around the corner. We're going to continue to warm up from there as we get closer towards the weekend, pushing all the way up into those lower 80s. Then we're right around the corner from New Year's. By New Year's Eve, we drop down into those 60s, and we're on the cool down as we could fall all the way down into those 50s, while those overnight lows go from those 50s all the way down into those 30s. Stay tuned on Motor Break. You're watching KSAN News.